Parole de la chanson.
On peut pas...
Oui, je sais pas. Je ne sais même pas si c'est bien.
Ouais.
On ne peut pas le toucher. Ok, bon, on va les faire rentrer.
Et donc là, j'ai essayé de vous mettre quelque chose qui parle plus du contenu linguistique. Ici, c'est la même séquence, mais en voyant quels éléments linguistiques ont été abordés dans quel support.
The people who normally sit on the table over there.
Je vais essayer d'imaginer
We'll move you onto this table here. Okay?
You can sit in your normal place. You'll need to change tables. Can you sit on that table instead? No, you sit in your normal places, please. Just change your table and that table. Okay? Hi. Hi. Same as normal, except good morning, everybody. Good morning. Right then. Who's not here? Who sits next to you normally? How do you sit here? What are you doing? Yes. Okay. Right. Okay. Did anybody else have this piece of paper for me? I got yours, thank you. Don't understand English, French. Don't understand French. Oh, you were upset all last week, weren't you? You were absent all last week. Okay, you cold? Is it cold? Do you want to shut the windows? Right. Okay. How is everybody? Everybody, are you ready? You are beautiful. You know you're beautiful. Are you ready? Are you ready? Right. Okay. We're going to start off with something to remind you of what we've been doing. Ready? Could you please stand up? Oh no, that's too difficult. And come and sit by Christelle for 2 minutes. We're on a timeout for 2 minutes. Thank you. Right. Are you okay with that? Yes. Right. So that gives me you two. Blondine and Cecilia. Elif, I know that. Elif and Ivana. You two. You two. You two. You two and you two. Okay? Can you decide who is, and you two, who is A and who is B? Alright? That was not the difficult bit, that was the easy bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spin my spinner like that. Oh, it goes the other way. And you will come across a word or a series of words. The person whose turn it is will have to try to speak for 1 minute on that subject. Okay? Do you understand? Would you like me to repeat? No? Everyone okay? You're happy with that? Alright, here we go. The first subject is going to be for A. We're going to start with A. Are you A? He's A. Alright, are you A? So you're speaking. The A's are speaking. Here we go. And your subject is, woohoo! Enola Gay. Hello. Hi. Are you with us today? Oh, I didn't know that. Come in. That's all right. Oh, I didn't know that. That explains your question. Okay, I didn't know. That's fine. All right then. So, Your subject is Enola Gay, and I would like you to speak for 1 minute to your partner on the subject of Enola Gay. Are you ready? Hang on, I need my watch. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Do not read. Not reading. Yeah? What was the name of the pilot? The pilot's mother's name. Mother's name. Yeah, okay. You should have more than one sentence about Enola Gay. You could talk about Enola Gay for about half an hour. Do not read, just listen. Stop! Alright, B's turn now. Hiroshima. B. 3, 2, 1, go! Enola Gay.
And it was a very important city in Japan
During the Second World War. The Second World War. Or during World War II. Okay? The Second World War. Or World War II. Okay? Am I stressing you? Sorry. Second, yeah. What? In Hiroshima? No, that was the first. Hiroshima was the first. Stop! A. Harry Truman, Doris Day. Harry Truman. You said you replaced Eisenhower. Can you develop that idea?
He became president.
Yeah. Why?
Vice president.
Yes, that's what I wanted. Okay.
Because the Japanese fight to the last man.
Stop. Where are we up to? A or B? Whose turn is it? It's B. Okay, B. Here we go. Well, now we've done that one. We've done that one. Colonel Paul Tibbets. Colonel Paul Tibbets. What can you say about Colonel Paul Tibbets? 1 minute, go. And. Why is he remembered? Why do we remember his name? Okay. All right. You okay? Yes. Have you finished? There's one more. There's one more. Whose go is it? A or B? A. I've got to try and get it onto the right one. Oh, yes, the nuclear bomb. There were two more. A, the nuclear bomb. 1 minute. Go. Keep calm. Yeah. Yes, my birthday. But not 1945. Not in 1945. Okay, stop. Good. It's a way of helping you to remember the details of the information that you have learned over the last month, because you've learned a lot of information. I've got another activity now. It's going to be called Just a Minute. We're going to choose one person. Hang on, where's my triptycho gone? Yes. That's an example. You know how this works. We've done it before, haven't we? I'm going to choose one person, for example, as an example. And we're going to give that person a subject to talk about. And they are going to try and talk about that subject for a minute to everybody. And when they have finished, we'll see if you can add any extra information. Okay? Are you ready? Do you understand? Anybody want me to re-explain that? You would like me to re-explain it, yeah? We're going to choose a person, and then I'm going to give that person a subject. And they will talk to everybody about that subject. When they have finished, try for 1 minute. When they have finished, we will see if you have extra information to add. Okay? All right, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Red one, it's your birthday. Are you ready? No, didn't want that one. I wanted that one. That one. There you go. Do you want me to switch the light off? Is that better? Is that okay? I'll put it back on.
Better with the lights on?
Yeah, I'll put the light on. It's just so you can see the photo. There we go. Right, okay, red one, are you ready? Are you ready? No, you're not ready. Do what you can. Try. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Hang on, can you hear? You have to pump up the volume.
Those pictures are pictures of Pearl Harbor.
Wait 1 minute. I'm going to stand here. Can you turn and talk to me? There.
Those pictures are pictures of Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor.
It was an island of the United States. There was armament on this island.
Armaments.
It was a military base.
Yes, that's better.
The Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941. It was a surprise attack.
A surprise attack, well done.
This island was very important to the United States because it was half on the road to Japan by the sea.
On the road to Japan by the sea. Can we perhaps be, you're right, you are absolutely right, but can we be a bit more precise?
It was an island between the United States and Japan.
And you want to say that it was à mi-chemin is what you want to say, isn't it? Does anyone remember how do you say à mi-chemin? Halfway from, yeah, or halfway between
Japan and the United States.
Yes, well done. I like your half on the road by sea. I like that. Okay.
And in this attack, they lost many ships. I think it's 25 ships.
Okay.
And some planes too. And that's all.
That's not all. They lost ships, planes, and
Humans' life.
life. Yes. Can you remember any numbers?
2,000.
Yes. It was more than 2,000, wasn't it? More than 2,000 lives were lost. Well done. Well done. That was more than a minute. Well done, everyone. Has anyone got any details to add to that? One said it was a surprise attack. Do you remember the other expression I gave you? Yep, Quentin? A sneak attack. Do you remember? A sneak attack means it's not open. It was secret. It was a negative way to do things. It wasn't a fair way to do things. But remember, we are in war. Okay, who's going to go next? Dun, dun, dun. We like this, don't we? Oh, Charlie, you were lucky. All right then, Maxime, are you ready? Your subject. Let me put the lights off just so you can see the photo more clearly. Okay? Maxime.
In these pictures, we can see the American camps. They are in the west coast of the United States. This camp has been created.
Were created.
Were created because of the Pearl Harbor attack.
Pearl
Harbor attack.
Yeah.
And Japanese presence in the United States territory were prisoners.
Yes. Yes. Interned. They were interned.
Because they could be spies.
Yes. Yes. That's more than a minute, Maxime. Well done. Yes. Good. Does anyone have anything to add about these pictures? Things that we started to talk about this last week. Do you remember the name I told you for these camps? We couldn't, with Cherie, we couldn't remember the name. I have since remembered the name. I've been thinking about it. They were called internment camps. Internment camps, where people were placed so that they were no longer a risk. Because remember, Pearl Harbor was a sneak attack, so there was a lot of suspicion about what Japan would do next. There was a lot of suspicion and mistrust. It was a situation of suspicion and mistrust. Okay? All right, well done, Maxime, that was good. We've got one more. Who's going to do the last one? Mhm. Owen, hooray! Thank you, you say. And your picture is here. I will switch off the light so you can see. It's not very clear. Okay? Yeah? Okay, see what you can do. Go.
The pictures is named Mr. Nagasawa.
Nakagawa, he knows the name. Mr. Nakagawa.
Mr. Nagasawa it was in Hiroshima when the bomb was dropped on the city.
He was in Hiroshima, are you sure? If he was if he had been in Hiroshima, I'm not sure he would be here today, would he? Yeah.
He was in the Kokura.
Yeah.
And he explained that the people in the war
People in Kokura survived.
Because of the cloud.
That's it. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Let's see if we can have some more on that one, because there is more to say, I think. Valentin. Have you got anything to add about Mr. Nakagawa and Kokura?
Kokura was the first choice of the US Army, but there were clouds. Then they can't drop the bomb on Kokura, and they chose Nagasaki.
They can't? What now? Oh my God.
They couldn't.
Yes. Yeah? Okay. So they chose Nagasaki. Yeah?
And he went after on Nagasaki with his daughter, no?
Mr.
Nakagawa.
Nakagawa. Yes, he did. He went to Nagasaki. When? Do you remember when?
No.
Does anyone remember when? When did he go to Nagasaki with his daughters? Yeah, Cecilia?
In the 50th anniversary.
Yes. Yes, it was the 50th anniversary. And what happened, Valentin, when he was there with his daughters?
They were crying.
Why?
Because without the clouds they were dead.
Let's be more precise. You've got to think grammar now. Without the clouds, they
Could be dead. They will be dead.
Can anybody help us? Let's use the word killed, not dead. Use the word killed. Anybody? Charlie?
They were killed.
But they weren't, were they? They weren't killed. So without the clouds, they...
If their father was dead, they could never born.
could never exist, or they could never have been born. Yes, yes, could never have been born. And to go back to what you said, Valentin, if there hadn't been cloud that day, Mr. Nakagawa would no, killed. What do you use killed? Use killed. Mr. Nakagawa would. Anybody?
Be killed.
In the past, would have been killed. Yes. Yes. Well done. Well done. That's quite complicated, isn't it? Okay, well done. Well done. That's good. You've got a lot of background now because we've been working on this for a month. So you've got to really bring all your background to support what you're doing now. I gave you to read an extract from a novel, which is an extract which is called Look at My Face. Do you want to go back to your place now? You can. That was more than 2 minutes, wasn't it? Okay, I asked you to read Look at My Face over the last few days. And I asked you to be able to use the information that you know to support your reading of the text, which is what I asked you. And last time we talked about the introduction. What did we find in the introduction that was important? What can anyone say about the introduction? Elif?
It's about a girl who is Japanese
Yep.
and a man who is American.
Hang on, if you say a girl and a man,
A guy.
a guy, yeah, a guy or a boy. If you say a girl, then it's logical to say a boy. If you say a girl and a man, that suggests that something not quite the same. Yeah. Okay.
It was in 1941,
Yep.
and we think they will be probably separated
Possibly. Why do you think that?
because Japanese was seen like a danger, a potential.
A potential danger? What's the word you're looking for? Does anybody know? What word is she trying to find? I know what you're thinking, I think. Baroda?
A threat.
Threat. Is that the word you're looking for? A threat. Yes, a potential threat. Okay, but not all Japanese people of Japanese origin, remember, you didn't have to be Japanese, it was of Japanese origin. She may have been an American citizen. If you were of Japanese origin and you lived in New York, was that a problem? So, oh, was it the same problem? Where does this story take place? Charlie?
On the west coast.
Yeah, can you show us on the map? It's over there. You go and show us. Oh my goodness, I've got to move. Can you show us where?
No.
No. Where was it? Exactly, precisely. San Pedro? Right, can you show us where Seattle is? Do you know? Anybody, where is Seattle? Does anyone know where Seattle is? Sleepless in Seattle? Oh my goodness, your American geography. Yes, Cecilia, can you show us? Yes, please. Yep. Yep.
In Washington State.
Yes, it's in Washington State, Seattle. So why is that important, Charlie? Why is that important that it's in Seattle and that we know where Seattle is?
It's important because the people who had the Japanese origin on the West Coast must go in another place. Or
What now? They must, what today? Now?
No, they would.
They? In the past, must in the past. They?
They had to.
Yes, they had to.
They had to go in another place in the East Coast, or they must they had to go in internment camps.
Yes. What did we call that band?
Restricted zone.
There was a restricted zone and the other one, there were two zones, weren't there? There wasn't the word prohibited. You're right, but those aren't the words that were used. Can anyone remember what the precise word was?
exclusions.
Yes, it was an exclusion zone. So in Seattle, in San Pedro, of course, this was part of the zone where she was not allowed to stay. So that's really important if you're going to understand this story. You need to know that. You've read the story now. What I would like you to do is to fill in one of these. Have we done these before? Did we do these last year? It's to help you to identify what are the most important parts of this story. You've got a flower with space for who, what, when, where, and why. You don't have to write a whole essay. It's only key points. But it's to help you to try to identify what are the essential points. So you're going to have one of those. You're welcome. And I would like you to try to identify what you think are the key points to go in each of the petals of the flower. Just keywords or notes. We don't want full sentences. You haven't got space for full sentences. Okay? And you're not going to take an hour over this. I'm just going to give you 5 minutes. That's not in the back. Okay, so what are the most essential parts, do you think? You can talk about it with the people here. You don't have to do it in silence. You can share your ideas if you want to. If you're going to write San Pedro, it'd be interesting for you to make yourself a little note about why is that important as well. Yeah. Don't forget to make your links in the where section. If you're going to write San Pedro, if you're going to write Seattle, you need to give yourself a little note to remind yourself why is that important. Okay? As you're starting to prepare your ideas, keep thinking. Similarly for there, perhaps make yourself a little note about these different people. San Pedro now, so you need to go a bit further. Take that further. It's an island in the USA, an island off Seattle in the USA. But what's the implication? What does that imply? What do you know? Are you sure? Geographically, do you think that's true?
No, on the coast.
Yeah, and what were we just talking about it? What were we just talking about? Why is it important to know that it's in Seattle? Why is it important to know where Seattle is?
It's the coast where they can possibly drop. They can do again the sneak attack.
Yeah. And so what was that area? That area was part of what?
Street area.
Yeah. If you make yourself a note, you will remember. Because remember that your objective at the end of the year, when you do your oral exam, you're going to present. Imagine you have to present this to somebody. You will need to be able to include all of that information. So this is what you will be able to use to remind you of all the different information, which means that your presentation will go from being at that level to something that's deeper. You know, it's what we talked about, the onion. You're peeling the onion. So if you say, the story takes place in San Pedro. Yeah, great. I don't know where San Pedro is. It takes place in San Pedro, that's in Seattle. Great. I don't know where Seattle is. Then you can take it further each time you're peeling your onion, okay? So if you make yourself notes, You're preparing yourself. Yes. Okay. Okay. So, why is that important? Why do you think it's important that this story didn't take place in New York?
Because it's in the West Coast.
Yeah. And so it's sunny in the West Coast. Hooray!
There is a internment camps.
Make yourself a note. Internment camps and what else? What was it called? You can't remember. You need to write the word down. Exclusion zone. That's the sort of thing you need to make yourself your notes. Okay? How are we doing? How are you doing? Have you finished? No. So, yeah, and? It's the why. That's the most complicated one. More detail. More detail. That doesn't tell us anything. Do you remember when I just asked you to place Seattle on the map? You said you didn't know where it was. Now you know where it is. You know why it's important. Okay? It's to try to take your reading a bit further. We're peeling onions here. How are you doing? Ishmael in Japanese. A girl, I would say, a girl, because they're young people. Couple, okay. Okay. We don't know that yet, do we? That's you hypothesizing. In the story, we don't know. Have you read the story? No, so you don't know, do you? But you're supposing, which is good. You're anticipating. Now, why do you think that?
Because we know the attack of Pearl Harbor, and also Japanese are always closed.
Yeah.
Will be excluded.
Yeah. So your knowledge has helped you anticipate what's going to happen in the story. It's given you an extra understanding of the story. Okay. San Pedro, Seattle. Okay, why is that important? Why is it important that the story doesn't take place in Nebraska? Yeah, so why is that important? Why is it important, the fact that it's in Pearl Harbor in 1941? The story could have taken place in 1975 or in 1954. It was specifically that date. Why? Why is that going to be important for our understanding of the story? Okay? How are you doing? It's the same remarks that I just said for Jason. Okay, we've got an impossible love. Yeah, you don't know that for the moment, do you? You are deducing. You are anticipating. Why? Why can you anticipate that?
Because the Japanese will attack Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, and?
So after the Americans will put the exclusion zone.
Yeah.
So maybe also will be in this exclusion zone. So they will see the show.
Yes, you can see the story preparing, can't you? Yeah. And that, what's the importance of that? What's the importance of the date? And to think about why is it important that the story took place on that date? The author chose to set his story then. Why? What is the importance of that element? Is what you need to think about. Okay? Right, how are we doing? Have you finished? Have you got far enough? Because what I want to do now... You've got a question?
I don't know what to put in white and what.
Well, what is what happens?
Okay.
In the centre, you will put what the central theme of the story is. But it's perhaps too early to say that for the moment. We'll think about that after. It's perhaps a little early. Okay? How are you doing? Have you almost concluded? I know it's dinner time, isn't it, Sue? Have you almost Concluded. Are you happy? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a card. Well, you're going to choose a card. We'll let Malik choose. Each card will ask you to concentrate on a specific part of the text, a specific number of lines. And you have to read that number of lines again and try to decide why that particular passage is important. What is the extra information in that particular passage? Okay, I'm going to give you one card per table. So you're going to need to talk about it together to decide what is the importance of your particular passage. There you go. Oh, big responsibility here, Blondine. Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? Right, who's going to choose here? Maxime, are you going to have that one or that one? Okay, so have a look at your passage. And you've got to try to think about the importance of your particular passage on the story. So lines 27 to 30. Okay? Right. 41 to 43. Okay? Yep. Is it? Is it? Is it? It's very moving, is it? Is it
romantic?
It's romantic. We shall see. We shall see. You need to watch the film or read the novel. Okay, which extract have you got? 16 to 19. Okay? Ah, yeah, I like yours. Yours is one of my favourites, line 16 to 19. You need to really think about it. Why is that important? Aha! Now you need to try to put it into English. Okay, so which passage have you got? 27 to 30?
Oh, ça commence là.
They're telling people which beaches to watch. Okay. Mother's painting blackout screens, have the radio on all day. So what is that telling us? What do you need to know to be able to interpret that part of the story?
Elle a peur, non? Ça veut dire quoi? Which beach to watch?
Yeah, wow, what do you think?
Quelle plage elle doit regarder?
Why would they talk about watching beaches, do you think?
Because of the fear of an invasion?
Yes, definitely, a fear of an invasion. Because remember, you're on the west coast, so if they're going to invade by the sea, they would come straight to the west coast. They may not invade by aeroplane, invade by the sea. Fear of invasion.
C'est la mer de qui?
Well, who's speaking? Is it Hatsu's mum?
Ishmael, non?
Yeah, Ishmael's mum. Yeah, you need to work out who's speaking, don't you, to make sure what the point of view is.
Et blackout screen, ça veut dire quoi?
Ah, what a blackout screen.
Des fausses idées, non?
Des fausses idées? What's the screen?
Ouais, un écran, enfin...
Yeah. And blackout?
Bah non.
Yeah? So what does that mean? What were blackout screens? Do you have any idea?
Bah moi j'aurais interprété ça comme préjugé, non?
No, it's something physical. Something they've been painting. Literally.
Que de courant, non?
It can be, you're right, it can be, but it's not when it's with a screen. If you're frightened of invasion,
Manque d'information.
no, if you're worried about invasion, what do you do? Yeah, so what do you do physically? What do you do? Well, we've got surveillance on the beach. What else would you want to do? Something that would do with screens.
Les screens, c'est vraiment des écrans dans le compte.
Yeah. Yeah.
Qu'est-ce qu'on fait avec des écrans?
Not a coordinateur, of course. Of course. If we were worried about someone invading Louviers, we were worried that they were going to invade Louviers, what would we do here at school at night?
Ah, on ferme les fenêtres, on ferme les volets et tout.
Yes. Yes.
C'est ça?
Yes.
Donc en fait, avec peint les volets fermés, parce qu'il y a peur. D'accord.
Yeah. They put screens at the window so that no light could go through. Why? Why would you do that? Why? How would that protect you? It's so that you don't give any help to the enemy, so he can't see that there's light. If we left all our windows like that at night, the enemy would see the light, so they would know there were people here. Whereas if you put blackout everywhere, everything is totally black, which is what happens in time of war. Okay? My parents, my mum and dad, tell me that for the first 10 years of their life, they never saw light at night. Never. Because it was during the war, so there were no street lights, there were no road signs, and there were blackout curtains at the window, always, because it was during the war and there was fear of invasion of England. So it's this, you've got to try and think. It's very difficult for us to think about that because we can't imagine that. But they were worried of giving clues to the enemy, giving help to the enemy. Okay? So now you've got to try to explain that. Right, how are we doing? Okay, is Sheree giving you some help? How are you doing? Which lines have you got to think about? The theatre. Oh yes, I like the theatre one. What's the problem with the theatre?
They have left the lights on.
Mm-hmm. And why is that a problem?
Because the Japanese army can see them and drop and made an attack.
Yes.
So they unscrewed their light bulb.
Who? They? Who?
The American people.
Yes.
And they called the Ishiyama's family dictatorship.
Yes. Why? Why do they? Why? What because connection have they made?
Because they had maybe they may have thinking.
May have thought. May have thought.
May have thought that the Ishiyama's family was spying.
Mm.
So
and they were spying, and what were they doing specifically?
They lit the lights on for the Japanese army.
Yes, yes, that's exactly it. Yes, that's why it's really important. It's a detail, but it's a really important detail. If you don't understand the context, you don't understand that detail. Good, well done. Okay, how are we doing for time? A couple more minutes. How are you doing? What did you have to find? 14 to 16, so which was your part? What did you have to find? Arresting people, calling a lot of people spies, stop to the Ishiyama. So what's that about? What's your extract, do you think?
We think that these lines show the climate of tension and suspicion.
Tension and suspicion, yes.
Because,
and perhaps?
And
mistrust, yeah.
Because they're arresting people. We have an example with the Ichiyama's family.
Yep.
because Americans stop in front of their house and they honk to provoke them and create problems with Japanese.
Yes, yes. It's a whole climate of mistrust and suspicion. Everyone is worried about everybody else, which is normal in time of war, I suppose, isn't it? It's normal. Okay. Yes? Well, we don't know, do we? We don't know. Do you agree with what she just said? Yeah. Okay. How are you two doing? Mine's 41 to 43. What is your...
I'm going to let this he said that because no matter what happened in the world, so with Pearl Harbor and
Sorry. Yeah, no matter what's happened.
no matter what's happened in the world with Pearl Harbor and internally camps,
Yep.
he will protect Atsue and he will continue to love her no matter she's Japanese descent.
But do you think that's possible? Is it going to be possible?
It's not possible because she's Japanese descent, so
She's of Japanese descent.
of Japanese
Yeah.
descent, and she will maybe be arrested or she will be forced to move to another country which is not in the restricted zone
Yeah.
or in the in the other zone.
Exclusions in the other zone. Yes, yes. Okay, right. Have you all managed to understand your individual extract? Have you finished? We've run out of time. The bell is going to ring in a moment. Tomorrow we will share all this information because it's important to put it all together. We've got 2 hours tomorrow. Whoopee! Tomorrow you need to bring everything that we have done since September, because tomorrow we are going to put it all together and we're going to do the conclusion tomorrow. On Thursday, I'm going to give you just a little very nice, pretty little test. A pretty pink little test this Thursday. But we will revise for it tomorrow. It'll be a reading test. And then next week we're going to start our new chapter. Do you remember that I talked about it's going to be a novel? We're going to study a novel. And I said to you, you had the choice. Either you order the novel yourself or we order them together. Have you thought who would like to order them together? Who would like me to do it, basically? I'll repeat. Okay, put your hand down. You don't know what you just said. We talked about the novel. We're going to study a novel after the holidays. And I asked you to think about, do you want to order your individual copy? Or do you want me to get it for you when I go to England in the holidays? That was the question. So, who would like me to get it for you when I go to England? Okay. Who would like to order their own individual copy? Okay, right. So tomorrow we will discuss that again. I will give you the references so you can order your own copy. And those who want me to do it, I will give you the references tomorrow. And we will conclude everything tomorrow. So bring your information. Now, what lesson do you have now, boys and girls? Literature, philosophy. The 3 people. We keep them now. Do I keep the 3? No. Okay. I would like, if it's okay with you, Christelle, what lesson do you have now? Literature with Monsieur, Madame Vaquer, remplaçant. Right, okay. Christelle, Maxime. Christelle, Maxime, and Elif. What lesson do you have now? With Monsieur Jean-Marc. Monsieur Jean-Marc, Monsieur Jean-Marc. Okay. Could you just stay for a few minutes, please? And Christelle as well. You don't have a test, do you?